So today we're going to take a look at the check register lesson. So we're going to focus on banking using cash accounts, and more commonly known as checking accounts. So next week we're going to look at the credit accounts and then also credit history. So we'll look more closely at the credit end of things, but we're specifically going to focus on cash for this week. So looking at a bank account, we're looking at checking where cash accounts is going to go into and come out of a bank account. So I'm going to kind of compare it to like a hotel. So money is being checked into the bank and then money is being checked out of the bank. So this process of checking money in and checking money out, well, we're going to call that where we check the money into the bank is using deposits. So cash is going in, we're going to deposit the cash, we're going to deposit the money. So then we look at money coming out of the account. We're going to check the money out of the account, and that's going to be a withdrawal. So money is coming out of the checking account as we need to pay for something or we need to use it. So different types of deposits, different ways money goes into the account is cash, doing direct deposit as far as cash, electronic payment deposits, and direct deposits from a company or salary. If you receive a check for something, so either from somebody else needs to pay you and they use a check form, transfers from other accounts, either savings or you have other types of accounts, and then you put it into your checking account. And then now it's becoming very popular as electronic apps where you get transfers. Money is coming from PayPal, Zelle, Cash Apps. There's so many out there that's available. And then withdrawals is when you're taking the money out of the account. So you got ATM, you can take cash out, debit card purchases, where you use the electronic plastic card and that connects directly to your checking account and you can take it out. And checks again, but these are checks that you are writing to other people for payments. And then transfers, when you're transferring money out of the account, even if you're transferring it to savings, it's coming out of the checking account and it's going to savings. And then you can also use a lot of electronic transfers out of the account, either PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, for example. So the big question with all of these transactions going on, withdrawals and deposits, how do we keep track of all the money that's going into and coming out of a checking account? For those of you who have been working on the math assignment this week, you're starting to see this line by line format, and that's called a check register. So, where we are going to register all the cash that's going into or coming out. Now, more commonly, it was mainly used for checks, but now it is used for all the transactions for a checking account. So the check register is where we're going to record all the dates, descriptions, and then the amounts of the deposits and withdrawals that are going into and out of the account. Check registers can be handwritten manually, or you can keep them electronically using apps and spreadsheets, which is becoming very popular now. So the balance of the check register, that is probably one of the most important things we need to look at as far as how much money or cash is actually in the account right now. So the better we keep track of all the deposits and withdrawals, the more accurate and correct where we know exactly how much is in the account right now. So the first entry of the register is the starting balance, and that's usually in the top right. So this starting balance is $450.58. That's going to be your starting balance. So it's either coming from the previous month or you're starting a new register because you ran out of space on the old one. So you're going to transfer the information over. And the last balance in the register is what we call the ending balance. And the ending balance on this one is going to be $144.29. So at the beginning of this register, there's $450. There's a bunch of several transactions, and the ending balance was $144. And that would be the updated amount, the most recent updated amount, and that would go on to either another check register or you'd be waiting for another transaction. So the big question is, what math do we need to know when we use a check register? Well, if we're looking at deposits, we're looking at increasing the account balance, so we're going to be adding with decimals. And if we're looking at withdrawals, we're taking money out of the account, so we're going to be decreasing the account balance. So we're going to be subtracting with decimals. So to answer that question, we're pretty much just adding and subtracting decimals in regards to money. So there's a sample check register down below. And if you notice here, every check register, there's a lot of different examples out in the real world. Some of them call it debits, where money is coming out, or credits, where money is going in. But for sixth grade, we're just going to use our common terminology. Debit will be a withdrawal, money coming out, and credit going into the account will be the deposits. So once again, we're starting with the previous balance. And if we look at the previous balance, we had $535.99. And then after we put the previous balance in there, then we look at our first transaction. So our first transaction, we bought some groceries and we took out $123 using, it looks like a check number 1033. And then, so we're going to subtract this amount, so $535 minus $123 and some change. And then once we subtract that amount, then we need to update the balance again. So the right column is going to be the updated balance that is ongoing after each transaction. So $435 minus 123, we have $312 left over. So now we got our new balance, and then we go to the next line, and then we check what happened. So it was a deposit. Oh, awesome. Sweepstakes winnings. Great. So $10,000. So this example, they won $10,000 and they put it into their bank account because it looked like it was running a little bit low. So we're going to take the previous balance, and because it was a deposit, we're going to add it. So we're going to add $10,000 to $312, and then we're going to update our balance. So it's just an ongoing process of adding or subtracting, updating balance. Add or subtract, update the balance. So the new balance is now $10,000, 312. All right. So then a little bit later, you got some money, so you got to get your laundry cleaned. So you're looking good. You got some money in the account. So you go to the dry cleaners and spend $10.75 on some dry cleaning. So once again, the balance, the previous balance, the new transaction. So we're going to subtract, it's a withdrawal. So we're going to subtract $10 and then just continue updating the balance. So $435 was your starting balance. And then this example is going to be the ending balance of $10 and $301. So it's just an ongoing process where you keep it updated. All right. So I'm going to pause the video here, and we're actually going to look at a few live examples, and where you can click on the Google Doc and you can follow along. Then we're going to fill out a sample check register.